Another night was passing. I didn't have much to complain about. Marjot was pretty crabby though. She was also excited to do something with all those bionics I'd brought back. She said she was going to turn me into the bionic man. So we had an ear, a heart, and a lung, leg. That's what it was. And she got right to the business, ripping me apart and putting me back together right in our own bed. And it didn't take long. She had all those operations completed, and she succeeded at all three. My old heart was laying on the floor in a little freezer box she'd found somewhere. That was a little disturbing. After her success, she was laying around, enjoying the sunshine on her face. Some ship chunks fell out of the sky nearby, and a fire started as well. Now Marjot doesn't deal with fires, and I was in no state for walking by then. So, things just started burning. It was a reminder we needed to rebuild their bedrooms out of something that doesn't burn, lest the fire start when I'm gone. Perhaps some more flooring would be in order too, help keep the fire separated. As it was, our steel supplies are burning up. Seemed to be. And our power conduit as well. Well, like I said, I was in bed. When I finally could get up, walk again, I felt like a new man. Stronger, faster. I could hear better than I ever could in my life. And that was pretty sweet. So I got up, got to the business, repairing some traps. Marjot was working with the animals. I was going to have to make a bunch of meals. We had material for it. And we were running out. All we had left was the packaged survival meals. Neither of us cared too much for those, but they did the job. I broke apart them ship chunks, hauled in what I could from them, did some repairs around. The generator was beat up, power conduit was beat up, and then I was off to bed. I was feeling darn good. I could still use an eye. That's the only place I was lacking, but otherwise things felt great. And we were making a plan for how we were going to alter our bedrooms, and we decided we were just going to rebuild them the same, but use stone. So we uninstalled all the furniture, and I decided some cooking was in order, so we had some good food go along with all this work we were going to have to do. Everything was kind of a mess as well. Certainly wouldn't mind one of them fancy new cleaning robots people been talking about around here. Our cat got killed by a wolf about that time, and both Marjot and I decided we were going to give up on the cats. Much as we liked having one of them little critters around, it's too sad to watch them die all the time. We decided to kill that wolf, though. Miserable bastard killing our cat. And we were going to have to bury the cat as well, by the other animals we lost that we cared about. So, we geared up with the guns, gave that wolf the business. And then we went back inside. Marjot dug the grave for the cat, and I buried it. Sad day, but we'd have to get by. We had stuff laying everywhere for Marjot working with the animals. I was using the telescope, realizing what a disgusting mess everything was outside, no doubt due to these animals. Yeah, perhaps we could mitigate that if we could train them to stay where we want them to, not walk around on our sidewalk all the time. We were off to bed, 10 o'clock again, both feeling pretty good, nothing to complain about. We had a good time that night, and when we woke up, it was about 3 a.m. We did a bunch of cleaning, I started disassembling the walls in the bedroom. And then I started rebuilding them out of stone. First step, I did the divider wall, and then I'd work on the outside walls after that. And I'd finish up with the floor. I was going to have to make do with what stonework we had laying around here, which was fine. Didn't have to be so perfect, but I think it would turn out real nice. So I got to the business, building them bedrooms. These power conduits still felt like a liability, and our storage room was going to have to be dealt with as well. About that time, Aletta came crashing down out of the sky. Said she was a janitor, and she was in pretty bad shape. We didn't have a bed set up for her, so I jumped out of bed, got one set up, and Marjot went out and rescued her. Meteorite fell down about that time as well. Pure silver. What are the odds of that? And since we were all stoked, making, building, buying bionics, our goal was to turn ourselves into the bionic people. We could deal with these damn robots, and aliens, and anything else. Hopefully. I was building walls in the bedrooms, and then we were off to bed once again about 10 o'clock. Neither of us with any real pains or complaints, minus my eyeball. And being that we were healthy, we made the best of it that night. Aletta came down with an infection by morning, but I got her tended up. And then I went and tossed some horseshoes. It seemed like a good way to chill out. Still realizing just what a disgusting mess everything had become around here. We had a wild boar come up, pissed off as it gets. I was pretty sure the traps were going to deal with that thing, and sure enough, they did. I got the rest of the bedroom walls ripped down next, and then I started rebuilding them. We were reclaiming a fair amount of wood from all this. Aletta got up, decided she wanted to join us. We sent her on her way, explaining to her that this was our little place and that things are horrible here. She should try and find a safer place. Perhaps a city, or maybe those aliens won't ravage through and kill everybody. As it stands, we're on our own. We had a timber wolf decide, come sniffing around all friendly about that time. And we decided we were going to see if we could train that thing up. Maybe a properly tough pet, take care of itself. I'd been working on the floors in the bedroom, trying to come up with a plan for the block we had to make it look nice. And I made good progress on it. I stayed focused on that. Marjot was working on making some more blocks out of what she could find nearby. Whatever stone chunk was laying about. And she was doing some cleaning as well. I had to rebuild the trap when I was done with those floors. And I decided to butcher that pig up right away. I guess the trap was worth some free meat. Marjot was working with the animals. I got our bedroom finished up. And then I went and hid in a little side hallway, just staring at the sky. Decided to work on the guest room next. Felt like that was about the last thing. We could think about the storerooms later. Be a sad day if all of our stuff burnt up, but the reality is anything important we should be protecting better than that anyway. We were off to bed at the usual time. Both a little crabby that we'd sent Aletta packing, but otherwise feeling alright. Some cargo pods came down out of the sky, a bunch of cloudberries that night. Not sure who's sending this stuff, but it is nice to get gifts. I got a message some prisoners were trying to break out and needed some help at a nearby city. It was that same city where that assassination attempt was. We decided we were most likely going to ignore it. Most likely. We got up, had some meals, hauled a bunch of block in, some chunks we could turn into blocks. And I got back to work on the floor while Marjot went out, picked up all those cloudberries, some of the slag that had fallen around. I worked on the floor pretty much the whole day. We had that pig still laying around outside, just waiting to be butchered. I decided I'd better get to that before it turns too rotten to deal with. And I got it butchered up just fine. I was almost done with the floors in that bedroom, and then I decided maybe I'd better cook a couple meals. Grizzly bear was hunting one of our alpaca about that time. Well, we whistled them all in, and the bear had to go find something else to eat, which he did relatively quick. I finished making fine meals, then I worked on a few package survival, and we were off to bed at the usual time. Both feeling alright, except for the mess around here. We were both starting to get crabby about that. When I woke up, it's about 4 a.m. I just went on a cleaning spree. And about that time, the power flickered and a whole lot of those aliens showed up. We didn't know what to make of it. But man, there was a mess of them. We both damn near crapped a brick. And they're so fast, they showed up almost instantly to the door. We grabbed our guns and went running to see what we could do about this. Once again, there were so many of them, it didn't feel like there was much we were going to be able to do at the time. Our guns started cutting loose on them. Took one down right away. Fortunately, all the aliens went after our animals, not after us. And we just got to the business of trying to shoot them all down as best we could while hiding in a corner. They were taking out our muffalo, and they took out our alpaca. But it was better than taking us out, which was still a definite option. We were shooting, but of course one of them got into us. We started beating them with our guns. That was the best option we had at the time. And fortunately, our little sentinel gun was able to take one thing down. One of them was trying to destroy our power supply. Some kind of drones, there were some kind of warriors, some kind of runners. Olette had been telling us about these things, how they came to this planet about the same time we did. She claimed they never existed here before that. Now they'd taken over whole parts of it, dropping these pods, letting these crazy bastards loose. Might have to nuke the whole planet at some point if we could get all the people off. Be nice to save the animals too, but or just let it go. God forbid they ever figure out how to get back in space. We were tending the animals. Marjot needed tending herself somewhat badly. All of our traps were destroyed. We had no defense in that regard anymore. But it seemed more important to try and save the animals. Marjot went and laid in bed. She had quite a few burns from the acid. I think it was from the runner. One of those drones had spit on her too. Our timber wolf kept walking through all the acid blood, getting himself burnt up pretty bad. We were going to have to go on a major cleaning spree around here. So I tended up the wolf as best I could. Didn't have much more than a damp cloth to use on him, but it seemed like a fine plan. Next day, we started hauling bodies out. There were so many of them. It was definitely going to take a while. And about that time, more aliens showed up. All of a sudden, we felt extremely threatened here, despite what we built. So they were coming for us, sure as can be. They weren't as fast as the runners, fortunately. We'd have some chance to shoot at them. And we could always run back in and hide. Hopefully our guns would do the job. We were planning on building some additional guns. Felt like that would be necessary. Well, we took off running. Once they got kind of close, we were going to hide behind our gun. Marjot was moving pretty stinking slow. It's a good thing we left as early as we did. And eventually they got in there. Those guns are crack shot, man. Took out one of them. And when the other one came around the corner, that gun started giving it the business. Turns out the aliens are smart enough to attack the humans, aka us, not go after the guns. Although whether that's smart or not, I guess I don't know. That's just their plan. They go right for the blood. I was throwing horseshoes over a Muffalo corpse, standing in a puddle of acid blood, and then I decided that was too much. I was going to bed. Place was a damn mess. The wolf got itself burnt once again in the night, walking in the acid blood. I think it's about as dumb as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. I had to get up and take care of it. Seemed like he'd be recovering okay, though. I almost had that other bedroom floor done, but that seemed like it was forgotten by now, since I had so much stuff to rebuild. Batteries. Gonna make some guns. See if we could get things taken care of. We have plants everywhere. There's trees sprouting up all over the place. Those are gonna have to come out. So we cleaned up bodies. Just get all the junk hauled out. We had stuff breaking down. Marjot was working on keeping the heaters working. Not that it was terribly cold, but it certainly wasn't warm. I finished up the floor in that bedroom, just so I could call something done today. And worked on the guns, since those seem to be highest priority. That and the traps. And Marjot worked on blocks, while I went on a cleaning and building spree. Marjot was off to bed, a little earlier than usual. That was alright. I brought her food in bed, and then I went down myself. We were still crabby for sending a letter on her way, but had she been here, she might be dead by now. So I'm pretty sure we did the right thing. Marjot healed up. Other than a little bit of pink skin, fresh new skin. She didn't have any real scars or anything, so that was good. I was working on traps. I had the extra guns built. Probably gonna have to move them to a more intelligent location at some point, but we're kind of short on steel. We're gonna have to do something about that. Tons of slag laying around, and there was tons of stuff we could mine, I'm sure. So I built another gun. The battery was rebuilt. I just left the place in a big disaster of a mess that had to be dealt with. We had damage everywhere. Those aliens get in, when they die, they just squirt acid blood all over the place. That does a ton of damage to everything in sight. We're off to bed once again. 6th of September, 5504. Feeling alright, minus the mess that everything was in. I don't know how it got so bad, but we're gonna have to stay on top of that. Caught wind of an ambrosia sprout nearby, but for the minute, wasn't much we could do about that. We were repairing stuff, doing a little cleaning, keeping things nice and tidy, waiting for that wolf to burn itself on acid blood again. So far it hadn't. I took out a few trees that were in bad locations while I was cleaning. And then we chilled out for a while, just enjoying each other's company, having a chat. It was a good time. Marjot decided she'd better get back to work, and I agreed. We were trying to get that wolf trained up. She was having intermediate success on that. The cleaning process took forever. We had to keep stopping to eat. And we were off to bed about 10 a.m. once again. Feeling alright, except for the mess once again. We had some fun that night though. I certainly can't complain. And when we got up, it was back to cleaning for me. Marjot had herself a meal. I worked on cleaning up acid blood, which seemed to be everywhere. Marjot was trying to train that timber wolf still. And she trained it to attack, which was pretty cool. Watching her swing it around on one of that big stuffed up arm things. It was really going at her. She was happy as could be. I was using the telescope. Marjot was having herself a garden tea. And then she got back to the business of researching. She was still hell-bent on making my eyeball. She used the telescope, and then we both went off to bed. Both feeling okay. Nothing to complain about for once. We'd forgotten about Aletta. We were just happy our place was nice, taken care of once again. I got up, it was Cook, and she was researching, and that was that. I decided I was going to do some mining. There was that thing of silver nearby. I could get that brought in, maybe hit the road before too long. I was mining. Marjot was out training that timber wolf, which was hanging out with me, just trying to keep me safe, which was nice of it. I decided I'd better mine up a bunch of steel as well, since we didn't really have any around. And then I went back, just chilled out, watched the stars, listen to Marjot, talk to that timber wolf, try and train it. And 10 p.m., we were both back to bed once again. Never ends around here. Feels like it's just a work situation. About that time, we heard some strange noises in the south. Some of those aliens popped up right out of the ground. And then they went around and started attacking creatures. If they'd kill them, they'd just leave them. Don't know what the hell they were trying to pull here. But they just went around trying to down animals until they took them down. Then they dragged them back to their little hole thing. Wrapped them up in a cocoon or something. It was the damnedest thing I'd ever seen. And they just ran around like crazy, capturing as many animals as they could. They were trying to take down the bears even. Damn things are nuts. But they succeeded. And man, do those aliens heal fast. Not as fast as those crazy ones we dealt with once upon a time. I don't even want to think about those bastards. One of them was pretty well injured from a bear fight. So we went out there, tried to give him the business. And we got him to go down, pretty well injured. The other one was creeping on us though. It was trying to be sneaky, come up behind the hill. We decided we better bugger off. We didn't want to get too close to it. Haven't seen how fast they are, how well they fight. We were both pretty scared, I'm not gonna lie. With my bionic leg, I was significantly faster than Marjot, so I had to slow down so she could keep up. I was also stronger and tougher now. It felt awesome. That thing was getting damn close to me, but I was faster than it since we'd injured it up a bit. I decided I was going to see if I could run around, have it chase after me. Marjot could keep shooting at it. Seemed like that gun she had might have been made for killing these things. And I stopped to shoot once in a while. It got close to me. Fortunately, it didn't do any damage. And Marjot shot it dead. We still had to get down, deal with the other one we dropped, which appeared to be unconscious, but the way those things heal up, I don't trust it. So we shot it up. It bled everywhere. And then we decided to go kill those animals they'd cocooned. Not sure what the purpose of that was, but we didn't want to find out. So we killed the bear, and when we killed the doe, we realized there was some kind of cocoon around there. There was a big hole in the ground, which we had to shoot up, try and get it to collapse. The cocoon just popped out of nowhere, so we destroyed that too. I wasn't about to bring these animals back and butcher them. There could be an alien right inside of one of them. No idea. I'd got a burn on my right hand, dealing with all this mess from the acid blood. So I went off to bed. Marjot was in there praying. All these aliens, she decided to hear the word of the Lord. Asked for some kind of help here. She's getting a little more religious every day, which is fine with me. It's certainly not going to hurt. And she was back to research while I was trying to sleep a bit, heal up my hand. And when I got up, I cooked. Another ship chunk fell nearby, which is good. We could certainly use a steel. Somebody called us at that point, saying they're being chased, need some help. We told them to stay the hell out of here. These aliens, take their ass out, man. They don't want to deal with it. So I had a bunch of mining to do yet. Mined some steel. Then I brought back what I could. I got to bed about the time Marjot got up. The only thing I was crabby about was having eaten without a table. And when I got up, I used the telescope. Marjot, she's over there throwing horseshoes. Both of us feeling pretty darn good, in all honesty. Some travelers were passing by about that time, but they didn't bother us. We warned them of the alien threat, which seemed to be increasing around here dramatically. It might be high time we got out of here, somewhere they don't know where we are. We were out of meat for cooking, so I made a few meals with the milk, and then I got back to mining. And Marjot was making great progress, doing research on how to make bionics, with a real focus on eyeballs. And there was more milk, so I cooked a little more. Marjot finally figured it out. She was excited as could get, but she was also tired. I was out mining at the time, so I hauled in what I could, and I was off to bed. There was a psychic drone on. She said this buzzing in her ear was driving her nuts. Despite that, she was pretty stoked, and the psychic drone ended about that time. She was hungry, but otherwise feeling good. She couldn't stop blabbering on about the bionic eye. She was going to show me how to make it. She was worried she didn't have the dexterity to do it. But I might, if I just practiced a little bit. So with that, we slept. For once, things were peaceful and clean, minus a meteor blasting out of the sky right nearby. But it was solid gold, so I couldn't complain too much. Another night, passing in peace and quiet.